Welcome to the Cornerbread Studio livestream. I'll be working on some Guardian Nightreign Guardians armor pieces, like this one. I'll just do as much as I can. I don't really know like how much I can do today. And as an introvert, I'm just tired of talking right now, so I'll just keep my mic muted and just do as many as I can, because my live streams are just me doing my work. So hopefully it will give you some inspiration to do your own armor pieces. Oh yeah. So cute. Yeah, let's get to work. And if you have any Nomad Sculpt questions or 3D sculpting questions, as usual, I will do my best to help out if anything, because I think with live streaming, like, it's always a good time to catch some of you guys and just help you guys out with anything. And is there anything else? Well, now that I'm kind of getting used to this newer format, I'm thinking of maybe I'll do more of like a compilation of questions and put them all together and address them all at like given time frames. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep my mic muted and do some work. I'm feeling so tired from working out yesterday. Okay, I've like set up the text and all that, so now it's a little bit more streamlined for me. I am improving something. Okay, let me mute this. Oh yeah, and what are we doing today? Like, I'll be using Tubes tool to do this, but you can see that I have some existing ones that I kind of did, but then it looks a little bit, I think kind of looks a bit too like messy. So like this one, I've already replaced it. Like before this one, it looked more like this. So this one, the left side I've already adjusted. So all these are just Tubes tool with different profiles. And then I will do the same for these. I've already done it for this one because previously this was just like a cylinder around his waist. So it's nice that I got this done. I need to fix the size of this waist. And then I was kind of working on this before I decided to live stream. So this is like the original base shape that I made for the back. And honestly, like, I'm not really sure whether or not I even need to make this, but then it feels really fun to make this. So I'm just going to make it. And then yeah, nice thing about having all these base shapes too is that, where's the Tubes tool, is that I can snap the new tubes. Like later on when I'm going to make this one, I can just snap it to this geometry right here. So in some sense, it's like it's not really a wasted effort or wasted time, because I can also snap the Tubes tool onto this geometry thing. Although I'm not really sure whether or not it's a lot better to just recreate like a proper geometry instead of using this. But since I've already like planned out the shape of this, then maybe it might be easier to use this to use as a base reference so that I don't need to think so hard anymore. But yeah, this looks really fun to make, so I'm just going to make some armor pieces. Oh my god, this is so hot. I think I did. Yeah, they're close enough. Honestly, I don't really know like what's going on over here, so I'm just going to leave it alone. But thank you, Raw Pretty Design and Mechabon, for coming in. Let me see. I want to duplicate this. That's everything. Every time I do this, I'm always amazed at what you can do with Fuse tool and stuff. Where is it? Like you can make really complex stuff with like very basic tools. Very basic tools that are customizable. Yeah, I'm not really sure like what's going on over here because I can't really see anything. But and most likely this just repeats above. And this is, and from far it looks very good. So I'm just going to leave it as it is. Good progress. I think the next thing that I'll do, I can kind of make them look better like this, where like I've validate the objects and turn them into a. Actually, I can just paint this. So yeah, I'm going to paint this up. I probably should. If this one and this. I think I probably would just work on this first. Let's do this. No, my brain feels free. It's done. Good progress. You're looking at the chat now. Yeah, I really like Guardian's design. Like, he's like a fancy gentleman bird. I think like when I saw Guardian, like I think Guardian's probably the reason why I wanted to sculpt Nightreign. Although whenever I feel like the characters that I like from Elden Ring and Nightreign and all that stuff feels like not as popular. Like I know there's a girl in Nightreign, the one with like the flowers in the head, and she's like the shortest character. I know that one's popular, but I don't know, I just really like his design so much. And like honestly I feel like I learned quite a bit from sculpting him. But at the same time, like when all the design like so complex that like I feel like I can't really transfer the things that I learned here to my own designs yet, but I'll get there one day. But hello Jonas QM, really enjoys. Oh, I'm glad that you find it helpful. Here, I'll talk about. Let me talk about the. Let me. Oh my god, I'm not used to this. Oh my god. Okay, let me see. Okay. Oh, and for Rob Pretty Designs question, I have a stream where I started from scratch on. I forgot. I think I started from scratch. Let me just. Where are you? This one, this goal. Yeah, I don't remember when I did it though, but I started sculpting her head from scratch on a stream. Probably if you just find like a green color goal on the thumbnail, then you can look for it. But I think like a lot of the times though it's because I don't really, even for that one, like I really don't feel confident in like doing a really long, like to show the whole long process where like the head sculpt at the beginning is like so shit. Like even in that live stream, the green girl, the head went from like really scary to decent, but then like the really scary part is like yeah, but yeah, and I'm not really sure whether the way that I sculpted her head is kind of like how I tackle the way that I sculpt heads now, but then in terms of, gee, why am I? Where is? Well, let's see. I hate this. I'm not really sure why, but like cannot hide objects if it's the mirrored object. I don't think it used to be a problem with this, but like, so let's say I do have like an update of what extra things I learned from sculpting even more hits. And I think most people, a lot of people like to do like these kinds of like westernized features of deep ridges and like double eyelids and all these stuff. I think it's my first time doing a female face like this. But the main thing would be, like, let's see if I think the main thing that I look out for would be like with Nightreign, there's a channel called Bonfire VN, and I use like even for why they close. Give me a sec. My brain's a bit fried, so I'm just going to explain things the best that I can. But all these images are from Bonfire VN. There's all these like really nice close-up turntable. Yeah, just like lots of shots of the characters in different angles. And for the Duchess, like there's also in the same video, I think the video is called like Night Ferris Details or something. There is like a video where they showed her without the mask, and then she's like turning like this, and that was the video that I used to reference when I was sculpting her hair in the previous stream. So with this one too, it's like what I did was to look at like the side view and then the front view and then 3/4 view. She looks a little bit different here than the original because like I would say it's kind of like my personal taste, but also sometimes it's very difficult to match like the reference really closely. But the part that I got really was really unsure about is like this nose area. But this one was really just about looking at the silhouette of the different angles. Then there's like a little bump here, and I'm going to exaggerate the way that this bumps out, just to give you, because I think with like female features, like you want to spot all these kind of plane changes and stuff, but you don't want to put it into the sculpt. So I'm just like exaggerating for you to show you like what I'm seeing. So I'm putting this like bump over here, and there's like this shape here. So I'm looking at all these shapes as I look at the reference and shape these things out. In terms of including this, it does help to know how to draw faces a bit. And then for the front view, it's the same thing, where I'm looking at, I think hers was like this. And her jaw is quite narrow. So I'm looking at all these, like the nose here. There's like a distinct thing over here. Let me just zoom in. There's like based on the reference, there's this like ball shape over here, and a different plane change like this. So I'm looking at all these features as I'm looking at the reference, but then it's like it was pretty slow because I'll be like looking at the reference for like, I don't know, for like 2 minutes, and then be like wait, is it this way, that way, and then I'll just be like staring at the reference, and that's kind of why I didn't really stream this part. But it's like I will always be sculpting, like I will never stop sculpting. So maybe in the future, when I feel a little bit more confident, then I will do a lot more from scratch. I think like in terms of doing his armor too, like I do subconsciously feel pretty confident in doing these things. Not fast, but I'm quite confident in doing them systematically and kind of like always progressing. Like I don't really need to stop to like I mean I'm like brain fried right now because I was thinking so hard. But other things for the face, this is like things that I learned from drawing, but like it takes a while for me to kind of like transfer the skills to the knowledge onto my sculpt because it's just difficult. But there is like this shape over here, and kind of like where this line here to here, this line, I kind of associate it as like it usually starts at where the eyeball is, and this is where it disappears into. I think it tends to be that when I sculpt hits, that my cheek, I'm not sure, like my here is not that great, and so I'll need to do like a really conscious effort to make sure that this plus this, like this and this, is at the correct position, because I think it tends to do this, but like I can see this part here, and then the cheeks are like really low or something. I'm just gonna color this silhouette of like what I think usually the sculpt will end up being like if I don't put in like any mental effort to do it. And then what else? There's this triangle thing that if you learn how to draw faces, like this one. Oh, wait, sorry. It might not be accurate though because I'm just doing things based on what I think I remember. It's better to just look at a reference of like the guide of the hits, and then there's like this plane here, something like this, and then this is the part that comes out. I think it's kind of like somewhere here, and then the not stream part's the most important. And then another thing that I look out for is, which is really, that's why like it's really helpful to sculpt things with real-time lighting, which I really love, like since I got this new iPad, and then I can, because like my previous iPad I only had like 1.7 gigs of RAM, so I couldn't really do this, but with this one I can switch it to the lighting mode, and because of that I can see all these, and it's like a 3-point lighting kind of thing, just a standard 3-point lighting. So when I look at the cheeks where the light hits, I make sure that this one is straight. So I'll just like show you how it looks like sometimes when I am not like conscious of you see, like because I'm not conscious of like what I'm doing here, sometimes the shadow looks really off like that, and then when I look at the mesh, it's like sure enough it's not smoothed out. So I try to smooth this out as much as I can, like this this. I'm just gonna undo this. And all these things that I'm talking about is still a work in progress for me. Like I'm still learning quite a lot. So I try to be mindful of this shape here. And I guess I try to be mindful that the shadows over here looks neat, like a neat triangle, and not shadows, the light on this. And let me look at the chat. Do you have any videos where you sculpt the head from scratch? Oh yeah, so it's let me just, I think if you just backtrack the stream a little bit, like you'll see a green color girl. But then if you look at my one of my live streams, I don't remember when I did a live stream, but one of my older live streams, there's like a green color girl that I sculpted. And I think I did sculpt that from scratch. Although like I feel like I kind of made some mistakes with that still. So hopefully like in the next few months I will do one hit from scratch or something. Or maybe when I do who's that? When I do what's the name? Oh, when I work on the recluse, because I need to redo her. I think I need to redo her sculpt, or I can redo her sculpt. Then maybe I'll just try and do it from scratch or something. And then one other thing, which I find that I've improved quite a bit in, is I personally feel that this area here, can I thank you, this area and this area, I personally find these two areas like one of the hardest. I don't know why. I think it's because I don't understand like what is underneath the skin. But the way that I tackle it now is that I just try to make sure that when I do the sculpt like this, that there's some volume, and also there's like a flat area over here, but volume with the cheeks. And this one is the same, where there's some volume here, but the volume is very subtle, so it's not like don't do things like this, I guess. Like be very subtle with all the, something like that. Be really subtle with the way that you put in plane changes. And then in terms of the tubes tool, let me I think for the tubes tool, I'm just being mindful of how many points I'm putting. So I like to use the B-spline, but for the tube tool, I'm always trying to put like as little points as I can. Something like this. I think this is kind of like from something that's surprisingly useful that I learned from my years of being a rotopaint artist in the past. But it's like, you can achieve the same shape spline by using as few points as you can. I think this one just takes practice, like just keep practicing, like, oh, how many points can I remove? And then the other thing would be to, like this one, like be mindful of where they are in 3D space. So I was always being mindful of, like, is this one, are these flat on the surface, and then these are actually this one. What's this one? Getting lost. Yeah, this one's underneath. So this part is on top. And this part's underneath. So I'm kind of like going to the side view and just pushing them around. Something like that. I mean, always be mindful that you're working in 3D space. And the side views also matter. So I'm kind of like constantly switching between this snap. I wish that there's a way to keybind this, because I use it quite a lot. I realized. But something like this, I'm just making sure that it's cleaned up. Like that. Is there anything else? And I do try to, like, I made the mistake of not setting the shape and the profile correctly at the beginning. But I'm also mindful of, like, the number of faces. So sometimes I can just bring down the division X and bring up post subdivision by 1, and then it's a lot. I think it's like a lot less than, yeah, the polyfaces is a lot less than if it was the default division X at 30. Is there anything else? Other than that, I think, like, this whole thing is just about, wait, like, it's really just about looking at the shapes. Like when I sculpting the Duchess face, like, I did the same thing, where I'm like just looking at this and looking at the negative shapes of this, like this negative shape, this one, and then how many of them are there. I count how many pieces are there. So negative shape, and then what the direction the tubes are. And if you can, this one is, and you can get it quite close, then, like, little bits of incorrect placement, it's not really going to matter, because you're just gonna look at things in the distance. But I think, like, the mistake that I made for this one is that I didn't set this shape properly, which means that I need to go in and fix everything like this. So I'm going to fix this. But I always make, like, the base shape, do it properly first. I don't know why I didn't do it. Which I feel like it's not really a problem if I can, so this is like how many tubes already. If I can use, like, the drag tool to shift, like, all these tubes before I validate them, then I don't think this would be that much of a problem. But the problem is that if, let's say, this shape is wrong, then that means that I need to go in and like move everything individually like this. Like I wish that there's a way to do like pressing B in Blender where you can move things with like a soft blend. But yeah, so after I did this one, I was like, oh no, I made a mistake in that. And I need to make sure that this one, the base shape is correct before I start. Let me just, oh actually I fixed that already. Did I fix this just now? Yeah, this was a lot of fun, although I feel really tired now because I had to think so much. But it's super fun. And I'm going to do the same for this one, although I think I'm running out of time. So maybe next time I'll do this one, and this one. There's still quite a bit that I haven't done with this in terms of like just making it look nice, I think. But then it's kind of like more built up than everything else. Like his torso and everything kind of looks like shit. So maybe, surprisingly, the bottom part is like the first one to, yeah, to finalize. Like I'm kind of surprised. Just need to remove some of this. Poly faces. And then I guess these also are quite, these are not done yet. It's just so helpful to have this kind of reference where like I can see the inner layer. I just realized that the belt, is it the belt is too low or this is too high? Maybe the belt is too low. Actually, I'm not sure whether or not he's like, is he too tall? feel like my proportions are a bit off. Anyway, I'll just fix that off stream. Yeah. And yeah, I hope that the live stream is not like too horrendous or something. I tried my best at that current skill level. But I think like that one, let me think. I kind of fixed the face a little bit more after the stream. But I guess like in terms of what I look out for, like the landmarks that I look out for, or the structure that I think about, like I think I kind of went through it step by step. But I feel like the way that I approach face sculpt is not like, it's not super ideal or anything. Actually, why is this? I guess one of the things that I wonder about is like this one looks really small. But yeah. Anyway, I'm just going to leave it at this because this is really good progress. I kind of just wish that there's a way to paint up tube stool before validating it, but like this at the back, so I'm just going to let this sit here like this. And thank you, Jonas. Try lighting to play. But like I really like to sculpt with, I think, like I would think that the good matte caps out there, feels the chest plate maybe. Yeah, I think it's too small. I think now that everything is slowly building up, that like the areas where I haven't touched is like starting to look a little bit out of place. I think like that's always a good sign that things are progressing. But I think there are other matte caps out there that maybe you can try, but I'm just not the type to like import things in. But I'm sure like there will be a matte cap out there somewhere where it will display like all the things about using real-time lighting. Because like with real-time lighting, like if you have too many polygons for the amount of RAM that you have on your iPad, like it's going to be so laggy. That's also why when I started somewhere near the beginning of the stream, I was decimating the like some of the stuff and reducing the poly count of a lot of things because it was feeling very laggy at this point. Which is also like one of the tips that I can share, which is if you're working with dynamic topology like I do, then whenever I'm in libhebra mode and then it's like it feels really laggy, then that's kind of like the time when I know that I have to start decimating everything. That's why I don't really have the stats on my screen anymore, because I feel like I prefer having this clean look over here. And Nomad Sculpt has been pretty stable, so unless like I'm opening multiple files in like within 30 seconds, like it's usually not, or I'm not doing anything stupid, then it usually is quite stable. So yeah, I just like feel how heavy the file is by like moving around in libhebra mode. And if it's too laggy, then it means that it's too many polygons for what the iPad can handle. And then anything else? Oh, shoot the Chikawa face. Oh, let me show you. Where are you? I always find it so funny. That's why I kept this. I just need to find. I always find it funny, like how, like, even for Dutch's face, like her blocked in, her starting mesh like kind of looks like this, but like it just looks so cheesy and yeah, just bad. But I think like because I tend to get super depressed and all that stuff, then I always like to keep these kinds of like super ridiculous old meshes like before I go in and like sculpt things properly, and just like kind of like it gives me motivation to be like, oh, I actually made progress, or I actually did something productive. Yeah, check out my faceplate this year. Yeah, I think that's about it. I hope that everything has been helpful, and I will see you guys in the next one. And I feel like every time I say like what I'm going to do next, I'm not going to do it. I'm probably going to work on this to the next time, I think. Unless I do it off stream. But I think like because these two armor plates are a bit different from this. This one's a little bit more straightforward because it's very in some ways very two-dimensional. So I think I do, and this one's already done, so I can kind of like I kind of want to show like how something like this is made through this one and this one. So yeah, I always go back on my word, so just hopefully next time I will be able to show like how I do these two pieces. And that's about it.